All right, let's switch gears to Terrell Owens, who is getting a lot of backlash after he opened up about his past dating experience with Black women during an Instagram live conversation with Chad Johnson, aka Ocho Cinco. Take a look at what he said.
So when I started dating white girls, my first experience with white girls is when I went to college. I tried to date some Black girls when I was in college. They did not like me.
That's a very short clip, but he said he was just very scrawny. He didn't look as good as he does now, and that Black women were just not receptive to him back then. He's not saying that he's not into dating them now. He says he doesn't look at color or race, just the person. All right, Al, what are your thoughts on
I'm calling bull crap. Black women date them scrawny, they date them big, they date them short, they date them tall, they date them wide. Black women like Black men. I thought this was a poor attempt to justify his preference for non-Black women, and it would have been better if he was just honest. Just be honest. Don't say that because you were scrawny, white women prefer you over Black women. You know that's not true. And you know you're just making up an excuse for Black women not being your first option or preference. It's okay. It's okay. It's your preference. But be honest about it. Don't be a coward and say, oh, Black women gave me self-confidence issues because they didn't pay attention to me in college because I was scrawny. What are you talking about? There are scrawny Black men dating Black women all over America every day. What is he actually saying? And then the thing that pissed me off was look who he was talking to about this conversation, who was co-signing it, which was Chad Ocho Cinco. Now, we know Chad has dated Black women, but they always skew a little bit to the lighter skew or the lighter melanin than the darker melanin. These two guys, for me, this just wasn't a positive conversation to have around Black love.
Funky, what are your thoughts, boo?
I hate these types of conversations, right? I hate when Black women get upset with athletes and entertainers that don't want to date them. And it bothers me because of this. The reason I get upset is because I'm like, why are y'all getting so upset about somebody who don't want you, right? Forget whatever reason. Forget who the hell wants Terrell Owens? Like, you know what I'm saying? Go be Becky's problem. You know what? Go be their problem. But there's a group of people out there that complain. If they don't want to date us, if they don't want to date you, they don't want to date them, right? But Al,
didn't say that. Say it's his preference.
I get that. The question I'm going to ask is there not a world where people have a bad experience with their own and they find refuge elsewhere? And the reason I say that is because I take me, for example, and it took me a lot of years to recognize why I went to a predominantly white college. It took a lot of years to figure out. I just realized about 5 years ago that the reason I chose Florida State over FAMU is because me being gay, not being out yet, still trying to figure myself out, I didn't feel safe around Black people. And I found being in white spaces, I wasn't the faggot, the punk, the sissy. You know, I was just Quentin. So I'm not in Terrell's heart, but I do know that there is a world sometimes where people can be traumatized by their own, and it causes them to find refuge elsewhere.
Right, fair assessment, Funky. But think about it. You're not there. That was where you are in your development at that time. Right now, you still hang around African Americans.
Oh, sure.
You don't say, oh, because they used to call me names, because they used to make fun of me, I'm never going to hang around them again. I'm only going to do majority-oriented institutions or majority-oriented outings or gatherings. That was where you were at that time. But as you've grown and as you acknowledge it better, you see how our community can be very protective and loving and nurturing, because that's where you come from. That's what your family is. So you're not saying, I'm not going to mess with them ever again because of an experience that happened in that moment in your life.
That's true.
All right, we have the soulmates chiming in. We have Cheryl who says, Black women need to date other races. Trust me, try it. I did and was married to married in 6 months, living comfortably, not having to work if I don't want to. So be it, one said, still not my type. He treats his dark-skinned daughter different than his biracial one, so I can't with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I see both sides. I can see that maybe he did have an experience that still haunts him in high school, because he's talking about high school. So maybe that's possible. Let's grant him the experience. He experienced not being loved or appreciated by Black women. He had a good experience with white women. And so he started with white women. Now he's open-minded. So maybe he has developed or changed. But I'm with Al. Like, if you really just prefer white women, just say that.
Just say it.
Or say nothing. You don't owe anybody an explanation about where you park your penis.
Yeah.
You really don't. You don't owe anyone an explanation about where you park your penis.
That's right. I do want to know what Ocho Cinco asked him to get into that conversation.
Quiet as the skip, honey. Yeah, they did.
All right, news of pranks.
Hold on, Carolina. They was right there talking about the white women's, but they really needed to be talking about the men's, okay? Because I swear to you, and I'm just being a comedian at this point, but I do swear to you, back in the day, I think when T.O. had that show, I used to think him and Ocho Cinco was going together. I did. I did. And I'm sure I'm not the only person. I'm not the only person who thought they was going together, even the way they was sitting up there cackling on their phone like good girlfriends.
And when Ocho had that saying, "Ooh, honey child," remember he had that saying? What was that saying, Q?
He did.
That little saying, that was funny.
Oh, I don't remember this saying. All right.